Hey folks, how you doing? So I've been buying again, and I've picked myself up an Oric 1. This has been hanging around for months and months now. It was a long time ago I bought it, and only now have I got any sort of free time to investigate it and do something with it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. I know nothing about these machines at all. I've never owned one. I've never used one. I don't know anyone who did have one, but I've always been attracted to them, and I've always wanted to know more. I've always wanted to have a play on one and see what the capabilities are. I'm not sure what the attraction is. Maybe it's because it's an 8-bit computer with a really crappy keyboard. I don't know. That's probably what's attracted me to it. So yeah, I thought we'd dig into this together. I want to power it up. I know it powers up because I have plugged it in and it does do something, so it seems to work. But other than like the ready screen, I've not gone any further than that. Yeah, let's dig into it, shall we? Let's have a little bit of a close-up. It is in remarkably good condition. Surprisingly, really, because it had a bit of a rough time coming through the post. Because the person who sent it to me, when they packaged it, put it in an envelope. And I don't mean like a padded envelope or a jiffy bag or something like that. I mean a brown envelope that they lit shut and then like whacked a couple of stamps on it and then put it through the postal system, and somehow it came out in one piece. So it must be a tough little thing. I've had computers come to me that weren't so well wrapped. I had a Atari 800XL a couple of years ago, and that was badly wrapped, and that came to me in pieces, but I digress. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty good. There's a little scuff there. The thing is absolutely filthy as well. It looks like it's just come out of an attic or something. In fact, I think that's what the guy said. I've only got the unit itself. I don't have a power supply or anything like that, although it does just take a 9-volt centre pin positive power supply. I've got one of those rattling around to power it up. It's got what was rumoured to be a really, really awful, horrible keyboard. It's got these little hard tic-tac keys, little plastic keys. If I'm being honest though, when you type on it, it doesn't feel that bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as people make it out to be, I don't think. It feels like a bit more of a positive typing sensation than it does on a rubber keyed Spectrum, for example. Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going to use the universal measurement device, which is a Spectrum, and you can see it's well, it's that big. It's almost the same size, and you know, it's an 8-bit computer with a really crappy keyboard. It's kind of very similar to the Spectrum in the looks department, I think. I suspect that's where the similarities will end, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, people whinge about the keyboard, and like I said, it's not great, but I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. It's actually got quite a satisfying click to it, really. I wouldn't want to touch type with it, but then it's probably not what it was designed for. So yeah. What else have we got down the sides? Pretty much nothing. On the back, yeah, so we've got the RF. We've got, I think one of those is a cassette port, and the other one is RGB, because I think it does support RGB. And then we've got some expansion connectors. I don't know exactly what they are. And then we've got the power socket underneath. I think that's actually the speaker in there. I think there's a, if it comes out on the camera, I don't know. There's a lovely little brown skid mark there as well. I don't even want to know what that is, but we're going to give it a clean anyway. And yeah, it's identified as the 48K model as well. I don't know if there were others, possibly. Like I said, I don't know a lot about these machines, and I initially thought that was a vent, but I think there's actually a speaker in there. So yeah, and that, there's a button there, and it looks like the worst placed reset button ever, assuming it is a reset button. I honestly don't know. Yeah. So we're hooked up and we're powered on, and yeah, we're looking at this through RF, and you know what, the picture could be better. In fact, that's pretty bad. It could be that I'm using a modernish TV, so maybe it's not geared up for that. Maybe if I used a CRT I'd get a better picture. I don't know. But can you hear that noise? I don't know if the microphone's going to pick it up or not, but just listen. Like a buzzy noise. I initially thought that was coming out of the sound on the TV, but no, that's coming out of the machine itself. It's making that noise, and I don't know whether that's normal or not, or maybe we've got a fault. I'm not entirely sure. But yes, it does appear to do something anyway, so I suppose it's working, sort of, you know, working. Yeah. Okay. The keyboard all seems to be responsive, so I can type, and picture jumps around when I do. Yeah, complete garbage, but it seems to be responsive. That's a really annoying bleep when you type as well. I'm wondering if I can change. Nope, doesn't like that. Oh, okay, so the colour's working. So that's good. Okay, so we've got a bit of a shoddy picture, a bit of a strange noise, but other than that, it seems to function. So I thought I'd take a look inside it, partly because that picture and that noise are a little bit worrying, and I want to make sure it didn't actually suffer any damage in transit. So partly that, but mostly I just like taking things apart, so, you know, it's an excuse, isn't it, I suppose. So it also gives me the opportunity to clean it, because it is filthy dirty. I don't know if it's coming out on the camera, but there's a weird skid mark here. There's what look like dirty fingerprints all over it. The keys are disgusting. So if I can strip it down and clean it, all the better. And then going forward, any dirt that's left on it, well, that's my own, isn't it? So yeah, I don't mind my own dirt, but other people's I could do without. One more script and we're in. Does that just lift off? It does. That's rotten. Okay. Let me just zoom in on that. Okay, so let's have a little gander at what we've got. So we've got, yeah, that is one big speaker. That puts the Spectrum to shame anyway. What have we got? We've got an AY sound chip. So we've got some proper sound. Excellent. We've got one of the... Oh! So that'll be the processor. That's the 6502. That'll focus. And then 6522. What are they? I think they're... I could be wrong. Are they the input-output chips? So they handle like the keyboard and the... external peripherals, that sort of thing. Quote me if I'm, don't quote me, I could be wrong. So you got RAM and some logic, then some sort of ULA gate array, and then presumably that's the video circuitry there. Okie dokie. Yeah, is that a 7805 there as well, with a really small heatsink, like a disturbingly small heatsink? No, that is a 7905. So we're running on -5 volts. Okay. That is tiny. I'm wondering if there's any merit in swapping that out for a modern switching regulator, because that is a very small heatsink. But then again, maybe it doesn't pull that much current, and maybe it doesn't need a bigger heating. I don't know, but that looks iffy to me. Yeah. Okay, that's something to think about anyway. It's very clean inside. Can't say the same about the outside, I'm afraid. So what I'll do is, I can't see any damage. I mean, that's a good thing. I'll go over it with some magnification and make sure nothing's snapped or come loose. So the bad picture could simply be that I'm using it on a modern TV. There's a few electrolytics that might have dried out, so I might pull those off the board and just test them. But what I'd really like to do is get this board off, take the keyboard apart, and then get everything in the wash as well, because it really is quite disgusting, that keyboard. Yeah. Oh, and that's the switch. I think it's a reset switch. I don't know. But yeah, it's an odd place to put it if it is. Okay, let's continue the strip down. So I'm seeing no screws at the front. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 screws at the back. So let's take those out and see what happens. Probably all fall apart on me. Keys will go flying everywhere, and that'll be the end of this. Yeah. Something like that might happen. Yeah. Hopefully not. Now there could either be a ribbon cable or an edge connector connecting the keyboard to the base. I don't know. Let's be gentle, shall we? That's moving, and it's away. And yes, there's a little edge connector there. Okie dokie, that's easy. Right, for the keyboard, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 screws. So let's take those out. This will be the bit where it goes horribly wrong, I'm sure. Screws are out, gently does it. Okay. So there's a little board with contacts on it, so nothing out the ordinary there. We've got a rubber mat. And, oh, there's a bit of fluff there as well. So if I peel this up, are all the keys going to come flying at me? No. Oh god, that's not good. Let's just see if I can. How well that's coming out on the camera, I'm not sure, but that's pretty grotty. That's fine, because I know a good cure for that. And then the keys presumably will just lift out, and they do. And they're pretty grim as well. I can get that in focus. Yeah. But hey, it's not complicated. Let's get everything in the wash. One ultrasonic cleaner for the keys, and it's just a little bit of warm water and a tiny bit of detergent. That's all it needs. I mean, you could use a bit of soap and water and an old toothbrush to clean these keys up, but honestly, life's too short. It really is. So let's just do it this way. The lazy way. And if there's a shortcut, I'm up for it, you know. We'll let that cook for a few minutes. So while the keys are drying up, they've all been cleaned now. Let's deal with this disgusting mat, shall we? And one of my preferred cleaners, a baby wipe. And I always think if you can wipe a baby with it, it should be safe for other things. Oh yeah, that's grim. Yeah, that definitely needed doing. Okay. I think for the side of the carbon contacts, I'll go with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Okay, let that dry up. Don't know how well it's going to come out on camera, but some of these contacts have corroded. So that one is okay. That one, and that one. They're a little crusty, and so are some of the others as well. So I'm just going to work on them with a little bit of contact cleaner and just see if I can bring them back. Hopefully the damage is superficial, but we'll find out. Right, so I've been working on this for about half an hour now, and I think I've got most of the corrosion off. And it was only in little patches, so I think it's had a spillage at some point. But yeah, damps got in and there was corrosion. In fact, some of them were that bad, the pads, I don't see how the key could have worked. I didn't test all the keys actually, but a couple of them, I don't see how they could have functioned with that sort of corrosion on them. But what I did is I soaked it in isopropyl alcohol, and then I used, it was actually a wooden toothpick, just to scrape the corrosion off, and it did seem to break off fairly easily. And the reason I've used a wooden toothpick and nothing more sort of abrasive is I didn't want to start scratching and gouging into the metal, and thought, well, this isn't going to do that. So if I have to, then I would have used something a bit more abrasive, but thankfully I didn't. I've gone around with a multimeter and tested the connections, and all seems well. So hopefully we've caught that in the nick of time. I was going to take the capacitors out for testing, but do you know what? I've got them. I've got some like brand new Panasonic ones, so I might as well just replace them while I'm at it. They may be fine. I don't know if there's an issue with the capacitors on these machines or not, but they are going to be 30 odd years old, and they're possibly drying out. So why not play it safe and just take them out, I think. Yeah. Caps are done. There was only 3 of them, so it wasn't exactly a big job. I pulled Rubicons out of it, which are a really good brand. And I've replaced it with Panasonics, which are absolutely fine. So it may or may not make a difference. To be honest, I doubt it. I thought it might be interesting just to see how the old caps have fared, actually. So yeah, let's put them on the tester and let's just see how they've lasted over the best part of 4 decades. So this first one should be a 1 microfarad. Let me just click that on. Don't think it matters which way I clip it. And test. And oh, that's not bad at all. The ESR's a little bit high. It's not too bad though, but that's absolutely still in spec. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. There was nothing wrong with that cap as far as I can tell. Let's try another one. There were only 3. That should be a 220 microfarad. Let's give that a go. Get on, you little bugger. Oh, yeah, I mean, 234, ESR is 0.21 of an ohm. I mean, that's really good, actually. That's still in spec as well. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that it really needed changing. Change it I did, though. Last one, this should be 100 microfarad. Get the thing to connect, there it goes. Oh, 103. Yeah, that's really good. That is really good. They've held up really well, those capacitors. Like I said, they are a quality brand, but that is exceptionally good. I did not need to change them. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, let's move on. Keys are all dry, so I suppose I could start putting this all back together. One thing I noticed though, all the keys, they're identical apart from the spacebar and, is that the shift key? Return key, sorry, yeah. They're a different size, but the rest are all the same, and they are identical, but they are numbered on the bottom. So that one, I don't know if that's going to focus or not. It's a number 7, anyway. And that one, that's a number 8. If it'll focus, probably not. Anyway, yeah, they seem to be numbered like 1 to 8. And I put them together, and I can't tell any difference between the different keys. So I'm just going to assume that's a mould number, and it kind of doesn't matter where I put these back. But yeah, if I have put them back in the wrong place, I'm sure that will become obvious as we try to use the machine. But yeah, the keys seem identical. They just got different numbers moulded into the back of them. But I can't see any difference whatsoever. So I'm just going to go with it. So let's get these back in. Let's just raise the keyboard up so the keys can hang down. And yeah. Seems well. Let's try and get the computer back on then. So I'm going to have to line up those pins there, and that looks like a bit of a fiddle. So let's see what we can do. Oh, and again. Nope, I think I've missed it. Yeah, let me just do this off camera because I think this is going to be a little bit fiddly. Actually, it wasn't that bad. Once you get close to it, they're fairly easy to line up those pins. So, yeah, let's put the bottom case on, which has now been washed. And, yeah, it's looking a lot brighter as well. And I was careful not to scrub too much around the stickers as well, so they've all survived. And the new caps are fitted. I've just leaned them down a little bit, just so the case will close properly. It seems okay. I think we're okay. Yeah. There we go. It's a lot cleaner, it's a lot brighter, and any dirt on it now is my own, and I can handle that. So, excellent. Hopefully it'll still work, but let's find out. And yeah, it's all working just as it should, or just as it did anyway. RF picture is horrible, so I've bought a solution for that. I've bought myself an RGB cable, because I really, really, really hate making cables. So I've gone to my usual supplier. It's Retro Computer Shack. I always get my cables from there. Some of the cables I've had off him, they're years old now, and you know what, they still work just as well as they always have done. And they're regularly cycled as well, so that it's not like I'm plugging them in and leaving them. I'm constantly unplugging them, so they stand the test of time. So yeah, whenever I buy a cable, I always go there. So what have we got? It's got the DIN socket for the back of the computer, but it's also got a a loop for the power supply as well, so there must be some sort of active component that requires power within this cable as well. So presumably, I should probably just read the instructions really, but yeah, there's only one place that can go. There. Power in there, and then I can plug my power supply into that, and we should be good to go. Let's get it hooked up. And that is just a lovely crisp picture now. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. If I change the colours, oh, I can type and the screen doesn't flicker around. This is so much better. Oh yeah, that's working just so much better. I don't know how well it will come out on the camera, but that is crisp. That is a lovely picture. So cool. So we've got a nice clean computer. We've got a nice steady clean display. How the hell are we going to play some games? Well, I mean, the traditional media for this is tape, but I do have something else. Yeah, I've bought this thing, which is again, I bought it when I bought the Oric, so this has also been kind of hanging around for the last few months, so I hope it works, because it's a bit late to take it back now. Yeah, it's one of those SD card fast loaders, and it's even got a little reset button on it as well, so that just plugs right into the back of the machine, and hopefully we can load some games from that, because I don't have a cassette lead, and this has got to be the better way of doing it. So let's get that plugged in. It should just go in the back. Mind my elbow. Yep. Okay, and let's just plug her in. Let's see if we can get this to do something. I've not tried it yet, so it's we'll try it together, shall we? Let's plug that in. Hang on, bear with me. Okay, we'll load it up. Let me zoom in a little bit. So according to the instructions, it's C load, a couple of quotes, and we've got a menu. Okay, so alright, so they've preloaded some games. That's decent. I do appreciate that. Let's see, let's go for, is that Manic Miner, do you think? It's a classic. Let's see what that's like. Oh, I can hear a high-pitched whistle and it's saying loading. Okay. I have no idea what this is. Some sort of copy protection. Oh, there we go. That's loud. Okay, that's really loud. The speaker on this thing is incredible. And there is no volume controller I'm aware of either. So it's kind of blowing your ears out or nothing, you know. I've got to say, it doesn't look as good as it does on the Speccy or Amstrad, this. But, right, what are my controls? Not that one. Oh, there we go. Plays just fine. I mean, it plays like Manic Miner. God, that speaker's loud. Did that just get faster though? Yeah, Oh god, I'm going to reset that before the neighbours start banging on the windows. Christ, that was loud. Hey, but it works. A volume control would be a nice touch, because that is unbelievably loud. But yeah, it seems to play nice and smoothly. The graphics aren't a patch on the Spectrum or Amstrad versions though. Or the MSX for that matter. But hey, yeah, it's finding the right game for the system, I suppose. You know, some games are brilliant on one system and terrible on another. I suppose I've just got to find the right game for the Oric. I'm just not familiar with it, so I don't know. Let's try something else. I don't know. What's Atlantis? It's loud. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, shut up. That's driving me crackers. Okay, something else. What's that, Ghosts and Goblins? Ooh. Arrow keys. Right, okay, I can handle that. Any key to start. Not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. Nope, no idea. Okay, let's try something else. That reset button's really handy, I must admit. Hunchback. It's old ocean game, if I remember. Give it a go. Okay, space to play. How do I define the keys? Can I define the keys? Let's just play. Oh god. Okay, I have no idea what the keys are. Nothing seems to work. Do I need a joystick for this? I mean, God, that's loud. I'm just randomly hitting keys now until something happens. Nope, still haven't found a single key that works. I'm sure there's a way of defining keys on this, or maybe I do need a joystick, who knows. Oh, there we go. Ah! Hey, look at that. It's alright, this. Ah! Nope, didn't mean to do that. Bollocks. Right, anyway, yeah. It seems to work okay. So there you go. First impressions, It's a little primitive. Just be quiet. Okay, let's reset that. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, first impressions. Yeah, do you know what? It's a lovely little machine. The keyboard, it's not as bad as people made it out to be. It's not. I'm not saying it's a good keyboard, but it's not that bad. I mean, I've seen worse. It's on a par with the rubber keyed Spectrum. In fact, I might even say I prefer it slightly because it's got more of a positive click to it. So yeah, it's okay. My God, is that speaker loud though? And I don't know if there's a way of adjusting the volume on it. If there is, somebody please let me know, because that is incredibly loud. I mean, that's ridiculous, like ear bleeding loud. That I don't know how that's going to translate over the microphone, but it's horrendous. I think if you were playing games all day, you'd be deaf by the end of it. You'd probably have tinnitus or something. But yeah. In terms of the games themselves, I mean, it's hard to make a judgment. I've only played a couple, but it's a couple I've played before. I don't think this is the best platform for Manic Miner. It seemed to play okay, I suppose, but it didn't look very nice. Hunchback seemed okay. I think it's just a case of finding the right game for the system, isn't it? So there's a question for anyone who's familiar with these machines. What's good on the Oric? Let me know. So there we go. That's a look at the Oric. We've torn it down. We've cleaned out some corrosion on the keys, which I'm glad about. I'm glad I caught that. It's had a recap in, which it didn't need. That's all. Those original caps tested well in spec. It's certainly worth picking up the RGB cable because the picture is superb now, and that fast loader seems to work really well as well. I'm really impressed with that. Yeah. So there you go, that's an Oric. That's my first ever experience at using one as well. It's an interesting little machine. The only real issue I've got with it is that horrendously loud speaker. Please tell me somewhere there's a trim pot inside that I can turn that down, because that's just ridiculous. But yeah, there you go. If you've got one of these, or you owned one of these, drop me a comment and let you know what you thought was good and bad, and particularly what were the standout games for it, because every system's got their own. Let me know and I'll have a crack. But anyway, appreciate you watching, thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.